Hello, everybody. I think we are right on time. I'm going to give you a couple minutes to have some extra people hop on here. All right. All right. Well, welcome to April, Bella Babes. My name is Sara Kelly. I am Mirabella's National Education Manager and in-house esthetician and makeup artist. If you're anything like me, you're a bit confused on what day it is and what time it is right now. So today is Wednesday, April 1st. It is 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. And this is our first video in a new mini series that we're going to do. It is aimed at educating both consumers and licensed artists on our range of products, discussing differences in some of our formulas, and then most importantly right now, we're going to be covering some sanitation tips, just so that everybody knows how to keep their products at home clean and sanitary, and then also so everyone is aware what pro artists should be doing to keep themselves safe and healthy whenever they have a professional makeup application done. So this way everybody is well versed on sanitation, and so when you go to have a makeup service, you know what to look for to make sure that the artist is doing what they're supposed to as well. So what we're going to be doing over the next 3 weeks is breaking up the Mirabella line into small little groups of products. That way it's easier for you guys to handle. We're not throwing a ton of information at you. That also allows us to make sure that we're answering all of your questions. So you're going to see these little mini sessions starting today through the 15th. They're going to be going Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. They will be on this Facebook page every time, and they will be at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. So make sure to tune in to the next one this coming Friday. All right, so the first thing I'm going to talk about, and the first thing we're really focusing on for these mini sessions, is skin prep and skincare. So hopefully you guys know how important that is. I know makeup is great. It makes us all feel beautiful. It's really awesome at, accentuating our features and helping with discoloration in the skin. However, if there's something going on with the skin, if you're super oily, if you have dry, flaky patches, makeup is just never going to sit right unless you properly prep the skin. So we have several products to cover, but the first group of products I'm going to talk about is our skincare system. So we do have a 3-piece skincare system. It is specifically designed to prep the skin prior to makeup application. It is something that you can use morning and night as well, but we formulated it so that it preps the skin properly so that when you go to put makeup on top of it, everything lays really nicely, it stays, it doesn't shift around on the skin, and then that way you're just really able to get a really nice flawless finish. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is our cleanser here. This is the Mirabella Cleanse Total Facial Cleanser. It is a creamy cleanser. I know some of you love foaming cleansers. The problem with that sometimes is that they can be very stripping on the skin. So they can pull natural oils out of the skin, leave your skin kind of dry, and then when you try to put makeup on top, it's just not going to sit well, or you will be able to see that dry, flaky, tight skin through the makeup. So we chose to do a creamy cleanser. This guy's really great because it has anti-inflammatories in it too. So if you tend to have a little redness in the skin, maybe you have some rosacea or some active breakouts, there are ingredients to help calm all of that down, which means that your makeup's going to look better anyway. You won't have to do as much concealing if everything is already calmed down prior. So like I said, this is a creamy cleanser. I think some people have gotten confused, kind of equating it with like old school cold creams where you can just put it on the skin, wipe it off and you're done. You do need to use water with this, okay? So there are ingredients in here that need water to properly, you need to emulsify it, massage it onto the skin to start breaking down makeup, dirt, oil, things like that. So make sure that you do use water with it. And then I recommend taking it off with a wet cloth, and then you can do a rinse if you want to, but you're going to get better makeup and dirt and oil removal if you use a wet cloth to take it off. So if we're talking sanitation, if you're at home with this product, what you want to do every now and then is just grab a little disinfecting wipe. Make sure to wipe down the whole thing. And then I'm going to show you guys, this is a pump. So here's the pump right here. you want to make sure to never touch your fingertips or your hand to this pump, especially for pros. I think some of us, when we use any product that is a pump, we sort of do this and then wipe with our fingers, especially right now. That is something you do not want to be doing. And let me back up. We should all wash our hands before we do anything. So start with that, wash your hands, then make sure you're not touching the tip of the pump here. So when you pump out, if you're working on a client, if you're a pro artist, for a step like this, you do need to use your hands. So make sure you sanitize in front of them. And then when you pump out, you're just going to pump and let it fall onto your hands, okay? If you have a little string like that, you're going to use a disinfecting wipe to wipe it off. You do not want to wipe that on your fingertips. So like I said, you want to use a little water with this to emulsify, put it on the skin, wipe off with a clean wet cloth. Okay, so that is the first step, the cleanse. The second step in our 3-piece skincare system is our Balance toner. This guy is awesome. It does it all. It has ingredients in there to help hydrate and moisturize the skin. It has some humectants, so glycerin, sodium hyaluronate, to bind water to the skin so that everything is nice and plump and smooth for your makeup application. But there's also witch hazel in this, which helps cut oil. It helps heal little cuts or abrasion on the skin. It's very, very soothing. And the super cool thing is that it is an alcohol-free form of witch hazel. So if you're old school and you've ever used traditional witch hazel, you will know that it has a very strong odor and it kind of stings and burns on the skin. That is not at all what we're talking about. This is a special version of witch hazel that has been distilled to remove the alcohol, but you still get all the wonderful benefits of the witch hazel. So this guy is super cool. It has this pump that you can see right here. So same thing at home, wash your hands before you're using your products, routinely wipe down the outside of your bottles. But the cool thing about this is the inside where the liquid is actually at should never be contaminated. There's no cap that you have to unscrew. There's no reason for you to ever touch the liquid. So this is super, super sanitary, which is really awesome, especially for our pro artists. So what I like to use is a little cotton round like this. You can use a cotton ball or cotton square. Place it on the top and see how it's round like this. I don't put a lot of pressure right on the middle. I kind of place my fingers on each side of that little dispenser, and then you just push down a couple times. And then you have the toner on your pad, and you can go to the skin. If you need more toner, get a new cotton pad. Do not use one to wipe your face and then go back to your bottle, okay? So you want to make sure every time you touch this, it is with a clean cotton pad. And then you're just going to throw your pad away, wipe your bottle down, and you're good to go as far as sanitation on this guy. Okay, so that is the second step in our skincare system. The third is our Renew Age Defying Moisturizer. This is my personal favorite. This is really good for all skin types. It is a lotion texture, which is really, really nice because it's going to absorb into the skin. So you're not left with any kind of like greasy film that is going to prevent your makeup from sticking and staying where it's supposed to. So it's going to absorb, but leave the skin really nice and hydrated and super soft. But the benefits of this are really outstanding, guys. This is full of anti-aging ingredients. So we have peptides in there. We have some anti-inflammatory ingredients to help calm the skin, antioxidants. We have humectants, vitamin B5, sodium hyaluronate to bind water to the skin. Again, like most of the items in our skincare system. Jojoba, squalane, vitamin E. We have ceramides to help repair the skin barrier. And then we even have ingredients to help with discoloration in the skin. So licorice root, niacinamide, and vitamin C. So this little baby does it all. Like I said, it is in a lotion texture. We did not make a thick cream, like I said, because sometimes that doesn't absorb well, but also it is just way more sanitary to be in a pump like this versus a jar in which you have to stick your fingers into it. The cool thing about this is that this is an airless pump. So the bottom here, as you use it, raises up, meaning that you use everything in here. So there's no waste. So as far as sanitation goes, much like the cleanser, this is a pump. So it has your little dispenser right here, and you do not want to touch your hands or fingers to that dispenser. So again, you're just going to pump it out, and then if any's left here, you're going to wipe that off with a disinfecting wipe. I am using my hand for this video because my makeup palette, this guy, reflects way too much light, and I don't want that shining in your face. If you are a consumer, it is completely fine for you to put products on your hand as long as they're clean. If you are a pro artist, you should not be working from your hand. So whether it's cleanser, moisturizer, foundations, whatever it is, you need to use a palette, whether it's metal or paper plate, even like a little tea saucer that you can wash. You want to put all of those products onto a palette before you put them onto the client. And typically you're going to be using a brush. With skincare, a lot of times we do need to use our hands to make sure that it is pushed into the skin the way it should be. So you do need to wash your hands, and please sanitize them in front of the client before you touch their face with your fingers. All right, so that is the 3 pieces in our skincare set. The super cool thing is that we are running a special on that skincare set as a whole, and it's something we've never done before. So it's 30% off. Typically, you can buy all 3 pieces, so all 3 of these guys, for about $80. Right now with the 30% off, it is $56. So that is an outstanding value, especially for the quality of these products, guys. This is not something that you typically find in some pro makeup brands. We have worked really, really hard, and the quality and the ingredients in these skincare products is really top notch. So $56 for all 3 is a spectacular deal. All right. Okay, so now we have cleansed and moisturized the skin. We have a few more steps to do before you really want to dive into putting makeup on. So the next thing I want to talk about is our amp. This is this little dude right here, if you can see that. This is our brow and lash enhancing serum. So this puppy is great. There are a ton of brow and lash products on the market right now. Ours is really awesome because you get far more product in this little guy than what you're going to find with some of the competitors. In addition, you have one serum that you can use on your lashes and your brows. So you totally don't need to buy 2 products. There's no reason to do that. And this guy retails for $50, which is also a fabulous price point compared to what you're going to find with other brands. This is on sale right now, 20% off. So again, spectacular deal if you're interested in getting some growth on those brows or lashes. So you can see this little dude has kind of a brush applicator here, okay? The way you're going to use this is just right along the lash line, basically where you would put eyeliner, all right? On the brows, I actually work this back and forth into the brow hair to make sure that the serum is getting on the skin too. You want it to get on the skin because that way the ingredients are going to get into the skin where the hair is growing, where it's being produced basically. So this guy has biotin in it. I think a lot of us know that that helps with hair growth. It has peptides in it, and then there's glycerin and sodium hyaluronate. So the cool thing about this is that it has those ingredients to help with growth, but it also has ingredients to help really hydrate the hair. And when the hair is healthy, that means it breaks off less, it falls out less, it's going to be fuller and plumper. So that's where you're going to get some volume in the brows and some volume in the lashes. So sanitation wise, if you're a consumer and you have this at home, you are totally fine to use this little brush directly on your lash line and on your brows. However, if you're sick, if you have an eye infection, if you have something going on, please don't do that, because what's going to happen is you're going to end up contaminating this whole thing. So you can either put a little bit of this like onto your hand, then use your finger to apply, or you want to wait until you feel better to use it again. But the biggest thing is that you don't want to contaminate your entire tube of this. And that goes for pros as well. So for pros, this really is something that you don't necessarily need in your kit because you're not going to get results with one application. But it is great for you to have to talk to your clients about. Maybe you do a bridal trial and the person is lacking some lashes. You can talk to them about purchasing this so that by the time their wedding or their event comes up, they have long luscious lashes and brows. So when you're showing it to a client, you can definitely just, you know, let them look at the applicator. But if you're going to apply it to them to show them how to use it, you want to use a disposable applicator. So whether that is a little disposable lip gloss one like this, or whether you are going to invest in disposable eyeliner brushes, you can dip those in here and then show the client how the product feels on their skin. Okay. So like I said, $50 retail normally. This guy is 20% off right now. Awesome, awesome product. You can use it up to twice a day. Some people see results in as little as 2 weeks. I would say you're going to see kind of full results in about 12. But you do want to continue to use it. Now for me, once my lashes and brows got to where I wanted them, I backed off and only started using once a day. But 2 times a day is going to get you those results super fast. So this guy, and definitely give us a shout if you guys have questions. I'm kind of seeing people popping on and watching, which is awesome. I'm watching for questions and I'm going to try to answer those as we go. But we also have other members of our corporate team watching to answer your questions as well. So give us a shout if you have anything while we're doing this. All right, so after AMP, the next thing I want to talk about is our Prime for Lips. This is a newer product. This guy is super, super cool. I want to point out our packaging. If you have never looked at our packaging very closely, it is gorgeous. These are weighted, they're really heavy, but look how cute this is. These are little lips right here, etched on the side. So all of our lipsticks, our lip glosses are going to have this super cool little lip pattern. I just think that's gorgeous. So this guy, you can see, it's kind of rough here. This is a brown sugar lip scrub, all right? So super easy to use in the lipstick bullet like this. If you are a consumer at home, you can go straight to the lips and apply this and work it into the lip. It will leave some graininess on the lips, but that is totally fine. Being that it is sugar, as you kind of rub your lips together, maybe work it in with your finger, that sugar will start to dissolve with the heat of your lips. So it's going to exfoliate with the roughness of that sugar, but there is a ton of moisturizing ingredients in this. So we have grapeseed oil, jojoba, meadow foam seed oil, shea butter, sunflower seed oil, tea seed oil, and vitamin E. That's a lot, you guys. I love this product. I do lump it in with the prep products because since it has those natural oils, you want to use it at the beginning of an application. So what that's going to do is allow plenty of time for the oils to soak into the lip skin before you get to the end of your application, you put lip product on. So this was something that we'll talk about later, maybe next week or the week after. But with some of the lip products, if it's a stay-on formula, oils will interfere with the ability for it to last all day. So that's why you want to use this at the beginning of your application. That way the oils have soaked in. When you put on your lip color, there's no interference and everything will stay put. So that is this guy. This retails for $18 normally, but it is on sale for 20% off as well. Again, super awesome product. Sanitation wise, if you are using this at home on yourself, much like the AMP, if you are not feeling well, if you were sick, don't continue to use it directly from the tube. You don't want any germs, bacteria, virus, anything like that to get on this and stay on it. So you can kind of scrape off a little bit and use it with your finger if you have to. The same goes for pros. If you are demoing this to a customer, if you're wanting to use it on somebody before you do a makeup application, do not use it straight from the bullet, okay? You're going to want to get a little stick like this guy, and you will scrape some of this off onto the stick. And then I typically let the client put it on their own lips. It's a little bit awkward for you to go in with your finger and rub off their lips. So let them do that part so they can get it right off this stick. Or if you want, you can try a lip gloss wand. I've personally found that the texture of this doesn't work the greatest with the brown sugar. So using a finger to rub it around is going to be the best. And then they can just let it sit there. People ask often if they need to wipe this off. You do not. If you use it early enough in your application, the sugar will completely dissolve, okay? It is also safe to eat. If you lick your lips, it's going to be totally fine. Plus, it tastes kind of good. So it is totally safe for the lips. If you get toward the end of your application, you feel like you still got a little graininess going on, feel free to wipe it off. But just remember that you're also removing those conditioning oils. So again, try to use it at the beginning of your application so that has time to absorb. All right, on to the next prep product. We are going to talk about the waterproof eyeshadow primer. Okay, this guy is awesome, especially if you're someone that has oily lids. If you're someone that you feel like your shadow just never stays put, this is going to be a lifesaver for you. So the cool thing about this is that it does come in almost a little like lip gloss applicator here. So you want to put a very, very thin layer on the eyelid. When we first released this product, people were complaining that it kind of rolled on the lid. It didn't stay put. That's because you're using way too much, okay? So you just want a super thin barrier so that makeup has something to grab onto and it helps control oil on the eyelid. This guy's cool because it also has a little bit of vitamin E. So for those of you that have, dry eye skin or kind of crepey eyes, it's going to hydrate, but it's not going to hydrate it to the point that your eyeshadow is going to slip around. It's really an awesome product. It's this super cool kind of light, I don't know if you guys can see that, light tan color. So it blends into the eye skin very, very nicely. Sanitation wise, if you are someone using this on yourself at home, feel free to use the applicator directly on the eye. And then I personally go in with my finger and pat it in and blend that in with my finger. You do not want to share this with anyone. Same goes for the amp and same goes for the lip scrub here. You don't want to share any products that go on your eyes or on your lips with other people, okay? So for pros, to use this in a sanitary way on your clients, because this is basically a lip gloss applicator, you can come in with your disposable if you want to. Get product, go to the eye, and use this to sort of distribute. If you need more, you have to get a new wand. So do not double dip this wand. You will contaminate the whole thing. Personally, what I like to do is use my palette. Again, I'm going to put this on my hand just so you're not blinded by the palette, but typically that's not what you're going to do. But I would put a little bit onto my palette and then come in with either the Mirabella flat foundation brush or the Mirabella wet dry shadow brush. What you want is a brush that has stiff bristles. And all these brushes are synthetic, and that is perfect for a product like this because the bristle's not going to absorb the product, so you're not wasting it. So you want something with stiff bristles. You're going to pick up that product, go to the eye, and blend it out, okay? So if you are a pro, that's what you want to do. Consumers can do this as well, but that's how you're going to use it in a sanitary manner. And just like everything else, when you are done using it, you're going to wipe it down with a disinfecting wipe. Okay? So that is the waterproof eyeshadow primer. It retails for, I think, $20, and it is also 20% off right now. So snag those up while you can. All right, we have 2 products left. So just to give you a quick review, we've used the 3 pieces of skincare. We have done the amp for our lashes and our brows. We've exfoliated our lips with the Prime for Lips, and we've put on our waterproof eyeshadow primer, okay? So this is where you actually start to get into applying products to the face, makeup products to the face. We're not going to go into foundations and things like that today. Like I said, we're trying to keep these a little bit shorter. But what you're going to want to do next is prime the skin. Oops, flip that guy around. Okay, so we have 2 different options for primer. If you have never used a primer before, or if you're unsure of what primers are for, there's a couple different things. So they're going to act as a base for makeup, so that your foundation, concealers, powders have something really nice to adhere to, okay? So it's going to help keep your makeup in place all day. It's going to help it last all day. So you're not going to see it shifting around on the skin. Color is going to stay truer and last all day if you use a primer. The other thing that primers do is they act as almost spackle for the skin or a corrector for the skin. So skin prep with the skincare is really great to get everything conditioned, smooth, nice and soft, but makeup cannot hide texture on the skin. So if you have large pores, if you have lines and wrinkles, if you have some flakiness, and some of that is still showing even after you've used your skincare, that's where the primers come in. Okay, so we have two options. Prime for face is going to be the first one I'm going to talk about. This primer has been around for a long time, and this is more like your traditional primer, what a lot of brands are doing, what you've seen out there for a long time. This is a silicone-based primer. Silicone is actually really nice in a primer because it acts as spackle, like I said. So it is a little bit thicker, and I'll show you guys what that looks like here, if you can see it. It's this kind of clear, thick consistency here. I think there's a misconception that silicone is hydrating. It is not hydrating in and of itself. It really just acts as a barrier product. So Prime is really great for all skin types, but I really love to use it on oily skin people. If you're somebody that's super oily, you know that you get this breakthrough shine kind of in the T-zone throughout the day. And then when that hits your foundation, it sort of starts to shift it around, right? So Prime is going to help create a barrier on the skin so that that doesn't happen. In addition, because it is kind of that thicker texture, this is ideal for areas where there's large pores or for people that have wrinkles that are a little bit deeper. So this guy is great, really for all skin types. But the way you're going to want to apply this, if you're at home, definitely feel free to use your fingers if you're comfortable doing that. I do use my flat foundation brush a lot on clients for this. So you want to pick up a little product, and what I like to do is kind of distribute it on the face, and then I'm going to press it into the areas that I feel like need some work. Okay, so if you have areas with large pores or wrinkles, maybe you have some nasolabial fold lines here, you're going to press that in to help fill it in, and then do kind of just a quick sweep. You'll do that same action with your brush if you were a professional, okay? So you're going to press the primer into the skin and then do a quick sweep just to kind of smooth it out, all right? So this guy's pretty easy to be clean with since it is not something that you have to pour out. It's already in a little squeeze tube. You're just going to squeeze it out onto a palette or the back of your hand if you're a consumer, and then use a brush or your fingertips to apply. Pretty easy. And then wipe down this. Make sure to wipe this down so it stays nice and clean. And then again, just like with the pumps on our skincare, do not touch your fingers or your hand directly to the tip of this, okay? All right, so that is Prime. Silicone-based primer, a little bit thicker, good for oily skin, good for filling in deep lines and wrinkles. That guy retails for $28 and is also 20% off right now. Okay, then our last option and our second primer option is Awaken. All right, this is a primer that is very different for a lot of us. It's not a traditional primer in the sense that it's thick the way that Prime is. This is a serum-based primer, okay? So I always recommend that people shake it up first. And if you are a pro and you're selling this to a consumer, if you're a consumer and you get this, make sure that you go easy when you take the cap off and squeeze it, because it is a liquid, all right? So I'm going to show you here. See that? Pretty liquidy. But the cool thing about this is that it is super hydrating and it has like a lifting and firming quality, which is really awesome. On some people, you can even apply this maybe like around an eye, let it sit for a few minutes, and then you can see a difference on the eye that had the primer applied versus the one that didn't. It does help tighten and lift the skin. It does that with an ingredient called Brazilian arrowroot. And then, like I mentioned, it is very hydrating and moisturizing. This is not my go-to for oily skin people, but this is definitely my go-to if you happen to be dry, if you have some flakiness, maybe if your skin's a little bit more mature, this is going to be a really great option for you. Application is the same as with the Prime. If you are using it on yourself at home, feel free to use your fingertips, press it into the area and kind of smooth it down. Or if you're a professional, you can use a brush. Again, you want to use something with stiff bristles as opposed to something fluffy like a blush brush or a powder brush. That's not going to put the product where you want it. You want something with the stiff bristles. So I get asked all the time if you can use both of these. I keep doing that, guys. Sorry. If you can use both of these together. Absolutely. Yes, I do that on most clients. So either you can layer them if you have somebody that's really dry, so they need the hydrating aspect of Awaken, but maybe they have some wrinkling and they need the filling aspect of Prime. Layer them. Put the Awaken on first, let it sit for a couple seconds, then go in with the Prime where it's needed. Same thing for oily skin. I myself am oily, but I love to use the Awaken around my eyes and then right around my mouth. And then I will use Prime everywhere else so that I fill in those pores and get that oily oil control barrier. So again, yes, you can definitely use both of these if you want to. It really just depends on your skin and depends on personal preference. Okay, so that covers everything in our skin prep category, and that is what we're talking about today. I haven't seen any questions come through, but if you have them, this video is going to be posted, so feel free to comment below and someone on our team will get back to you to answer that question. We so appreciate you guys joining us for our very first mini class. Tune in for the next one on Friday. We will be talking about application tools. So brushes, blenders, wipeout, bulletproof, maybe a couple other things. So tune in Friday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, and we hope to see you guys all on the next one. We hope you're hanging in there. We are in this with you guys. We are here to support you however we can, and I hope you guys have a good one. We'll see you next time. Thanks.